Hello everyone, you are watching a segment of the Countdown program from December 25, 2023. Today is Monday, and I congratulate everyone who celebrates Christmas on this bright holiday. I'll talk about the themes of the postscript a little later, but now about the most important thing. The West tensed. Politicians are moaning from different directions. And even the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, opened one eye with concern. The German publication Bild, citing its own intelligence source, predicted Putin's possible aggression against the EU countries during the presidential change of shift in the United States. The period is called December 2024–January 2025. Analysts admit that Putin will rush to Europe while Washington is unable to quickly respond to this aggression. The NATO leadership will be, if not paralyzed, then significantly limited in its decisions. True, Bild is far from a virgin publication, the analysts of which must be taken on faith. After all, propagandists of Venediktov work under its roof, who was able with his brood to occupy a noticeable clearing in the European information field, including the unassuming Deutsche Welle. Nevertheless, today we must listen to any such information, if only because of the growing aggressiveness in the Kremlin's rhetoric itself. They no longer rule out a severance of diplomatic relations with the United States, something that did not happen even during the Cuban Missile Crisis. But Bild is not the only one expressing concern about the rise in militaristic rates. The head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, said in an interview with the British Guardian that Putin will not be satisfied with a partial victory in Ukraine and will continue a long war until he gains full control over this country. Quote, Putin cannot be satisfied with only part of Ukraine and the situation when the rest of Ukraine belongs to the European Union. He cannot be satisfied with a limited territorial victory. He will not stop the war, especially before the American elections, which could give him a much more favorable scenario. So we must be prepared for a high-intensity conflict that lasts for a long time. Putin decided to wage the war until complete victory. End of quote. Borrell added that in February 2022, 150,000 Russian military personnel were concentrated on the borders of Ukraine, and now 450,000 Russian military personnel are taking part in hostilities on the territory of the country, that is, 3 times more. Russia could never become a nation. It has always been an empire. With the Tsar, with the Soviets, and now with Putin. This is a constant for Russia and its political identity, and as a result it has become a threat to its neighbors and especially to us, Borrell said. Here comes what we constantly repeat. Russia is not a nation, it is a wild territory inhabited by cruel bandits. Under the Tsar or under the Bolsheviks, under Yeltsin's thieving liberals or Putin's KGB-backed brigade. This is barbarian territory, which historically expanded through wild raids on its neighbors. And Europe, deeply despised by the savages for its indecisiveness, is today again under attack. Post-Soviet cannibals live by the principle, if you don't devour, it means they will eat you. And since, if a fight is inevitable, you have to strike first, they will rush to Europe. Angry and hungry. And the EU has very little time to prepare. The head of the Ministry of Industry and Trade Denis Manturov, who oversees the racist military-industrial complex, said that Russia is ahead of Western countries in the production of weapons. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. The Ukrainian Air Force began to shoot down racist planes. The events are extremely unpleasant for Minshoy. In response, the Russians began to lie vigorously. In the run-up to Christmas, Serbia again protested against fraud in recent elections. And Putin congratulated Vučić on the new year, wishing him success in the fight against Maidanization. Israeli army soldiers descended into one of the deepest bunkers in the Gaza Strip and showed what was inside before destroying it. Watch in the program, Postscript. The naked party at Ivleevers, which so excited the furry people, is actually a significant event. Its character echoes the late Tsarist Russia of the time of Rasputin, when the empire was mired in war and dangled in the historical loop of the intertemporal until the Bolshevik Revolution. While elite disgrace is being discussed in the cave, The US State Department reports an increase in the zone of control in the Arctic with the expansion of the continental shelf as an extension of the country's land territory underwater. And that is all. See all of our programs on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.